Hi everybody, Michael Fox from the UK Gaming Media Network here, also the Little Metal Dog Show of course, and we are live at the UK Games Expo for another run-through of another game that's been released here at the show. I'm joined by Gabriel from Gung Ho Games about his new game, Pirates of Nassau.
Yes, hello. This is Pirates of Nassau, our brand new game. Been designed in Nottingham in the UK.
Yep.
Not far from here in Birmingham.
So, pirates. Everybody loves a bit of piracy, of course.
War.
Going on the high seas and getting yourself the gold. And after the gold comes the power. And after the power comes the women. Now, tell us about Pirates of Nassau then. How does it work? What's the story behind it?
Okay, in Pirates of Nassau you play the role of a pirate captain.
Always good.
There's an image of a pirate captain. There's 5 available because the player is from 3 to 5.
Okay, cool.
And each of them have got their own character and individuality. You play the game by moving across the board in the Caribbean, using a very clever mechanic, if I can say so myself, by rolling the dice and choosing one of your value dice as your first move into the same space as the value of the dice is, taking your ship with you, and then you do an action, and as your subsequent moves you either you choose another dice and either add or subtract to the value of the space you're in.
Okay, so you're currently on 5, you have a 5 and a 3, so you could move all the way up to 10, you could move to 8, or you can also move into
you can use you can use any value dice to move in the next available channel passage, and in that case your next dice would add to 7. So you could go to 12.
Cool.
After each move you can take an action, and the actions are various.
So the actions are randomly decided by the card spaces,
Yes, and in certain spaces you have options of what to do.
Okay.
If you land on a merchant ships, which is frankly what you want to do, you want to plunder the merchants. What you do is you command your ship, and you have a certain number of values on these command cards, which simulate the fact that sometimes this is the highest value card. You're at the top of your game, there on the deck of your ship, shouting orders and being confident.
So you got two attributes. One's the boat, which is the speed, I take it, or the strength of the boat, and the other one is the gun, the artillery power you have behind you.
But this is your ability to command. So sometimes you're not as good commanding. You have to mix too much grog.
Even pirates have an off day,
especially with the rum. And therefore you have to decide very carefully when to be at your best. The cards have got 2 values, if I can show you. There's a sailing value and a gunnery value. In order to determine whether you plunder the merchant ship, you look at the command value on the card, you add that to the sailing value of your ship, which represents how good your ship is. You add it up. In this case is 4 because you're starting with a base value of 1 normally, and that needs to be higher than the sailing value than the ship is.
Cool.
You do the same with the gunnery.
So we've got 3 plus 1 is 4. We've got 1 here. So basically we have decimated this ship.
Decimated this ship.
It is gone.
So what you do is you take it and you plunder it, putting it there to signify the plunder. And what you do is you take the loot that is indicated on the card of that specific merchant. In this case, it's 2 barrels of rum. You take 2 barrels of rum.
Another bad night.
And you put them in the cargo space. To start off, you've got 8 cargo spaces, 1 good per space. You have to fit it in. And if you plunder a ship, you always also get a piece of 8. Which you put also in your cargo space. Some ships have got a symbol of a hostage, in which case you take a little hostage and you put it as well in the cargo space.
Everything goes in the cargo.
In the cargo.
That's fine.
Now, the funny thing with hostages is If you're taking another potential action that you can take, which is in the ports, you can smuggle, which represents you being a bit sneaky and smuggling goods, and you come up with a profit of either or of the available resources.
Okay, so we've got the rum. The black one is
black powder.
Okay.
Gunpowder.
Gold.
Spices.
Oh, spices.
Or generic cargo. Saffron in this bit.
I like that. There you go. Saffron is good.
So if you land on a port, you can choose which one to smuggle.
Yep.
You don't need to command your ship, and you just take one and put it in your cargo, and that's your action. And if you do that, you can also, if you have a hostage in your hold, you can ransom the hostage for a certain amount of pieces of eight, which depends on what region you are.
Gotcha. Cool.
However, you can also, which is mostly piratical, let the hostage walk the plank, in which case you add it to your plundered ship, and that will add to your notoriety in the notoriety phase.
Now, see, notoriety I know is important because pirates aren't just allowed to go out taking stuff that they want. It's not going to happen.
No.
So you've got the British Navy are here to, shall we say, keep an eye on things.
Yes, stop them. So after you've done your 3 moves and you've plundered your ship and all the players have done that, you have to go back to Nassau with all your plunder all fat, full of gold and spices. But the Royal Navy, she's not happy with you doing that, and therefore she's going to try and stop you. And the Royal Navy is going to send the best ships towards the most famous pirate.
Okay.
And therefore, at this stage, after you've done all the plundering, but before you go back home, you determine who has done the most plundering and therefore is the most notorious.
Right.
And so at this stage, you determine that by adding up all the values of all the ships you plundered, plus 3 for any
hostage that
you shoved overboard, plus 10 if you if you destroyed a port, which is another available action, which you do in the same way, looking at the values and matching them. And plus 1 if you have an extra trade wind counter, which is the last potential action that you can do, which is whenever you have nothing else to do, you can take a trade wind counter which adds 1 to the notoriety, or if you still have dice left, adds or subtracts 1 to the move, allowing you more flexibility. So you sacrifice not plundering, but it gives you flexibility in the next turn. So you add up all the notoriety and you score in based on who plundered most. That will give you an order of notoriety. The least notorious chooses the first Navy card first.
So obviously, in the case here, you would take this one because there's no ship.
There's an open sea and you can just sail scot-free. If, however, so the guys who've done most, the pirates who've plundered the most, will end up with the best ships to contend with. And you have to confront them in the same way as you do with the merchant ship. So you play a card, you add your command value of the card to the value of the ship, and that needs to be higher than the values of the Navy.
And in this case, you're not destroying them; you're just
evading
you're
them.
outrunning them.
You're evading them.
So with the cards that you have in your hand that represent your pirate, obviously you can't just keep on playing. I'm going to use my strongest card.
No,
you have to use them all, and then you get them back. Is that how it works?
Correct. No, you don't have to use them all. No.
Right.
What you do is the card you play is gone for the turn. You get it all back at the end of the turn, whether you have any left or not. Doesn't matter. But once it's gone, it's gone. So if you use your best card during the pillaging, you're not going to have it for the. But you're going to get it back no matter what for the next round.
Cool.
Now, interestingly, if you lose on both of the values, so if you're outsailed and outgunned, you will lose half your notoriety and half of your cargo. From your ship.
Harsh. So you've got to really, really make sure that at the end of your turn, you are going to be able to get it out. You're going to be able to get through it.
However, if you only lose on one of the two, but can either outgun or outsail the Navy, then you can choose to lose either half of your notoriety or half of your cargo.
Cool.
Always rounded in your favour.
So, and other things you can do in the game, you can expand the size of your ships, of course, in order to get more cargo hold,
Absolutely,
yeah.
So,
what about victory? What do you need to do to win? I mean, is it notoriety that will get you the victory?
It's not only notoriety.
Right.
There is 4 winning mechanics. When you get back to the port of Nassau after the Royal Navy, you contended with this, no matter how successful you've been. You can upgrade your ship, and you can buy upgrades that are represented here.
Okay.
You can buy better guns, which will allow you to
fight better,
or better sails, and there's a lot more upgrades that you can buy that have various sporadic effects.
And all of them have got a points value as well. So we've got the little points value.
They all have got little points value to determine the square counters and the rectangles counters determine how good your ship is.
Right.
You can also buy some crew members, which have got a motley factor.
Cool.
Which tells you how motley is your crew. And therefore, with the little number, they have an effect in the game. You can tap them, and they have clever effects.
Yep.
But you can also have, they also determine the effect, the motley factor of the crew. And I'm saying this because these are part of the various victory conditions, which are 4. One is the notoriety.
Yep.
So the most notorious pirates get 7 victory points.
Okay.
The second most notorious gets 5.
Right.
Then 3, then 1,
and everything,
and 0 in a 5-player game. The second victory condition is how good your ship is.
Yep. So again, it's whoever's got the best ship will get the most points, and it goes down in the scale.
Correct. Okay. The third is how motley your crew is.
Okay. So is more motley better?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So
the motley is the better. So
much
much so that there's some counters that have no effect in the game, but have a really high value. Like for instance, the ship's dog, or the cabin boy.
Good. Cool. And the fourth and final one is?
Whilst you're buying your upgrades, you can bury your treasure in your treasure chests.
Yep.
So you just secretly bury your treasure. At the end, and once it's done, you can't take it out.
Right.
But at the end of the game, you reveal.
And whoever
is the richest pirates, so that's the last one.
Fantastic. Well, Gabriel, it looks like a really, really cool game. I love the mix of mechanics that you've got going on here, and how you enhance your ship to try and just basically destroy everybody else around you. It's gone down well at the show, I take it?
Fantastically well. We have a really, really good response.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, cool. I mean, if you want to check it out, you can go to the, I take it, the Gung Ho Games website.
Yeah, it's www.gunghagames.com.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much for joining us. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cool.